Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Benny, and in today's video I'm going to tell you my 2024 book goals. Also, I'm going to tell you my TBR for the beginning of this year. I don't know if I'm gonna do other TBR videos, but those are the books that I will focus on, even though I just ordered a lot of books for a book haul, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, let's get started with this video. The first book goal that I want to talk about is the quantity of books that I want to read. My goal for 2024 is to read at least 50 books. So last year I read, I think 33 or 32. I think in my previous video, which was like ranking my 2023 books, I forgot one book. So technically it's 33 books that I read last year, which is not amazing. My book goal was 50. I changed my Goodreads because I wanted to feel better about myself. But I just wanted to remind you and remind myself as well that reading is not a competition. You don't have to read like 200 books every year. It's fine. We're all living our lives. I love buying books. I love reading books. I love collecting books. I love talking about books. And that's what it matters. It's not about how many books you read. It's just, you know, enjoying the time reading them. Sometimes I feel bad if I don't read like a trillion of books a month, but it's not realistic for me personally. It just doesn't work that way, and I don't want to put pressure on myself because I love this hobby and I want to love it for a long time. By the way, this is Draco if you're seeing him, like seeing a black thing just moving in the background. He's just sleeping. The second book goal that I have for next year is to read classics, because I personally never read classics, not even in school. I always study it, but it was not required for us to read it. But now I'm kind of more interested in it. I think like I'm gonna set my goal at probably 5, but I'm going to be really proud of myself if I even go through those 3 books that I'm about to mention, because I've been wanting to read them for a long time, and if I read them, I'm gonna be really happy and proud. So the first book, it's Little Women. I love the 2018 Greta Gerwig movie. It's my comfort movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. The second book, it's The Picture of Dorian Gray. I really want to read that book because I remember studying the era. The aestheticism felt a connection to that era. I think The Picture of Dorian Gray is one of those classics that I have to read. I never read it, obviously, but I'm very excited to read it. And it's a very short book, so I don't think it's going to be a big deal. But I really want to read East of Eden. I've heard so many great things about this book. I believe it's about a family, or like family dynamics, which it's something that I'm really interested in. Those are the classics that I really want to read this year. So moving on, read more literary. I don't know why, but it's really hard for me to pronounce that word, so please bear with me. English is not my first language. I'm sorry. I want to read more of those, mainly because I want to get more inspired by the books that I read. I don't want to read self-help books because that's where I come from. As much as fulfilling and inspiring those books are, like I kind of want to read for fun as well. And I kind of want to dive into literary fictions. I hope I pronounced it correctly. I don't know, I just want to see how they are because I don't think I've ever read one. But like, you know, the books that Jack Edward talks about, like I want to read those books. I kind of want to introduce like those kind of books that are more for adult, or at least like themes that kind of open your eyes and kind of like gives you other perspectives of certain things. I don't know, I just picture myself reading something more fulfilling intellectually, but yet again, like I will still read all the others, like 100%. I love those books and I will keep reading them. It's just fun. I just want to introduce them more. Like that's my point. Like I don't want to change my reading taste, but I definitely want to introduce other things just to always be in the lookout for interesting topics and interesting things that I don't personally look into ever. The next book goal for 2024 that I have is read more memoirs. So last year I think I read probably like 3. Those were some of my favorite books of the year because I really love memoirs. I think memoirs are really inspiring. There's so many people that I look up to that maybe have published books that I really would love to read this year. One of them, Stephen King on writing. I want to get into writing and just like see where that goes. And Stephen King, I've never read any book by him, which I do have as one of my goals for 2024. Obviously, I mean, Stephen King is a legendary writer. Like, he's known by everybody, even the ones that are not readers. And I think he's somebody that can tell you a lot about writing. So that's one of the books that I really want to read by him. The next goal that I have is finish series that I started. So last year I started so many series and finished none. Literally, I'm so ashamed of myself. Like, I didn't read that much, but majority of the things that I read were series, or at least like the first book of a series. And I don't think that I read a second book of a series. Maybe the only one that I finished, but it's duology and it's not a big deal. It's Six of Crows, and that's it. Like, other than that, I did not continue any other series. I want to commit into finishing book series that I've started. Also because some of them I absolutely adore and love. The next goal that I have for 2024 is to read at least one Stephen King book. Some movies that I've watched that were adaptations of the book, I think they're so interesting, and I kind of want to experience that in a reading form. One of the books I'm very interested to read is Billy Summers. I think it's about a serial killer or something, but like in his perspective, so that's cool. The next goal that I have for 2024 is read at least 2 Song of Ice and Fire books. Huge Game of Thrones fan, if you couldn't tell, but I have not read the books because they are long and I'm really scared of them. I don't think I've ever read a fantasy book that was written by a man, which that's kind of sounds terrifying. I just feel something about Game of Thrones for the first time again because I've watched the TV show so many times at this point that I know everything, and I know that in the books some things change even though the TV show is pretty accurate, but I think like the characters is a little different. Like, for example, Tyrion, it's not the nicest, and like Tyrion is literally my favorite character in Game of Thrones, so I don't know, I'm kind of scared of that, but at the same time, like, I want to read it because I feel like a fake fan if I don't, even though that's not absolutely true. Like, you don't have to read the books to be a fan of something. I'm literally the biggest fan of Game of Thrones, so it just sounds right for me to read the books also. So we'll see how that goes. I'm kind of scared. I will try at least. The next goal that I have, it's kind of interesting because I just ordered books, but buy books in bookstores instead of Amazon. So I want to really have an experience with buying books. I don't know, like in London, I went to specific bookstores and got specific books there, and I just, every time I look at them, I remember the memory that I had. Obviously, I'm not gonna find all the books that I want in bookstores, but at least, and I know they're also more expensive than on Amazon. Obviously, like, it depends. If it's like double the price, I'm like, no, but I kind of want to support small businesses around, you know, in my local area. I live in Rome, so there's a lot of them. I don't know how many there are that sell English books because I don't read in Italian. Make the experience for myself to actually buy books in bookstores and just like, you know, romanticize my life a little bit. Love bookstores a lot, and I want to see what Rome has to offer when it comes to bookstores. So I'm definitely going to do that. Maybe like I'm gonna make videos about it, I don't know. But like, I want to kind of enhance my experiences with reading, with buying books, everything. I just want to make it more fulfilling for me and be more conscious. Okay, the next one is buy only 4 books a month. So obviously it depends on what video I'm making. If I need to buy some books, like, I'm going to pass that, and if I don't want to buy any books, I don't have to necessarily like buy 4 books in a month. I have so many books that I actually want to read that I never get to it because every time I enter book talk, I just add more books into my TBR, and that is not good because I have so many books that I actually want to read that I've been sitting there for like years, not years, but like definitely a year. So I kind of want to be a little bit more conscious with my buying, but at the same time, I love buying books and also read the books that I already own because I already own a lot of books that I did not read. Read books that I keep looking at but never pick up. For example, The Priory of the Orange Tree. I keep looking at that book. I have it right here. It's a big book. It's actually kind of like an illusion. It's less pages than A Little Life, and I read that. It's like a lot smaller, but this is like a Bible. I think I'm gonna get it in my Kindle so that it looks a lot less intimidating, but at the same time, like, this is one of the books that I want to read for 2024. Oh my god. With that being said, I'm going to show you my TBR for the beginning of the year. Give me a second. This is my TBR. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 books. So the first book that I have here is Normal People by Sally Rooney. I've been wanting to read this book for so long. I think I'm gonna like this book though. But at the same time, I'm so scared. It's not a big book. It's literally like less than 300 pages. I was so hyped up a while ago, but I don't know. I'm kind of scared. The next one that I have here is Writers and Lovers by Lily King. The cover, it's beautiful, by the way. I'm not really sure what this book is about because I usually go into books a little blindly, but I know that it's a coming of age about a writer. Speaking of the books that Jack Edwards recommended that I bought and never read is Everyone in This Room Someday Will Be Dead. No. Everyone in This Room Will Someday Be Dead. I mean, I love the title, love the cover. I think this is also coming of age. I wanted to read it for so long. I literally bought it last year. And it's also less than 300 pages, so I don't know why I'm so scared of reading those books. I'm just scared of feeling stupid. That's what it is. The next book that I already mentioned is Little Women. I bought this book on Vinted, but I don't know if like this is the correct copy because it's so thin compared to the other copies. I don't know what's wrong with it. I don't know if there's like a second one or something, but I need to kind of check on it because I don't know if this is like the complete version. I thought it was gonna be so much more intimidating, but this looks like a normal size book. So the next book that I want to read is The Perks of Being a Wildflower. I wanted to read this book again for so long. I already read it when I was probably 13 years old, but I kind of want to see how it is now that I grew up and now that I have different experiences and kind of like seeing my perspective. The next book that I want to read, or at least like challenge myself to read, is Be Not Afraid of Love by Mimi Zhu. Lessons on fear, intimacy, and connection. I think this is more considered a self-help book of some sort. Yeah, self-help memoir. I think it applies a lot with my life, so let's see how that goes. Next, we have Alone with You in the Ether. I'm really excited to read this book. I've heard so many great things. If I heard correctly, I think it's about being in love and being in a relationship and dealing with that, and at the same time struggling with mental health. So I think this is a very interesting take that I've never read before. I'm kind of like in the mood for deeper book meanings and deeper analysis of certain subjects, if that makes sense. Next, we have Happy Place. I think the first book that I'm going to start it's either Happy Place or Normal People. I think I'm going to go with Happy Place. 6 days into the year and I still haven't picked up a book. Okay, then Silly Little Cowboy Romance, Heartless by Elsie Silver, which is the second book from the Chestnut Spring series. I'm so excited to read this book. I don't care. I love the first one. The next book is The Ballad of Never After. If you watched my last video, you know the fear that I have getting into this. I'm scared and I don't want to not read it for the first time again, but at the same time, like, I keep putting it off and I know that I'm gonna love it. So I just have to shut up, not think about it, not overthink it, and just start it. Probably I should read this one actually, just to start the year grade. But I don't want to read it. I don't want to read it and not read it the first time again. And then the last and final book that I want to read and that I really want to challenge myself this year, because I'm a fantasy girly through and through, and I cannot love fantasy if I have not read a Brandon Sanderson book, because he's the king of fantasy. It's a little different from the fantasies that I normally read. Like, it's not like a romantasy, or I don't think there's romance in it, but at the same time, like, I love fantasy, like the world building. And Final Empire, the first Mistborn book. He's really known for the Stormlight series, but I've done some researches and people say that it's better to start with the Mistborn series and then Stormlight, because Stormlight is so much longer. The world building is a lot more complicated. So people say to start with this one. But I'm going to challenge myself, y'all. I'm going to challenge myself. Okay, guys, we're done. Thank you so much for watching. Happy New Year. Let's make 2024 the best year yet, even though we always say that. But let's actually believe it this year. I hope the beginning of this year has been kind to you. I was in a little bit of a rut, I'm not gonna lie. But we're getting out of it. We're here filming a video. We're doing it. And I am so excited for what's coming. I have so many videos planned. Thank you so much for watching again. I hope you will have a great day or night or wherever you're watching this. And yeah, bye.